Hey guys, finally back with another video. It's been 2 months since my last post, and a lot has happened since then. So I've got a couple of updates. Recently, I've been really busy with schoolwork, but I did have a lot of new projects that I want to show you guys, and those projects are. I've upgraded a lot of my materials, and you can see I've got a little update in my workspace as well, so I'll go over that first. So it's essentially a small shop, and this is the place where I can make stuff. I've also got a school maker space as well. And I'll give you a tour of that shop sometime soon. But yeah, a lot has been going on. The recent paper organ video I released isn't doing that well so far, but hopefully as I post more updates, more people, you guys will hopefully be more interested, or perhaps other people will be more interested in it. But really it's because I haven't been posting in a really long times. But I hope you guys understand that. So some updates. We've built a new organ, Opus 2, and that is a predecessor, or like what will come after. It's a second generation from the original paper organ that was actually a prototype. Certainly a little less creative than the paper one, but it's definitely stepped up, scaled up. And that one uses actual materials. We made a lot of progress on that. I'll show you that in a bit. But we're actually on break right now. We have a 3-day weekend, so hopefully soon I'll be able to post a video once I'm in the other shop at school. So yeah. But for now, that's what we're working on. Here is the space I have at home, and I've got this table here. This is a small workbench, pretty messy. This is a homemade lathe I'm working on. Most of these tools are all for the organ, or needed in the process of building the organ, so that's the frame of it. And I got some other more advanced equipment, like this here. This is a power supply. And that one I actually picked off in the neighborhood. And here, just some other tools and such, and this little tool wall that I'm working on. And this is where I keep most of the tools. These squares I built myself. I built these in the school shop. They have much better tools than I do, but I don't really need that many tools at home, so a couple small projects, beam compass, got some small motors and such that I can use for smaller projects, more squares that I made here. This is a jigsaw table, and this is, it's got a homemade fence that I made for it, and just some more updates of that. This is just all the shop stuff, and this sander, which I built also for the organ. This particular sander uses a 1x30-inch belt, and this sander is it's designed. It's a very different design, quite new design, like. And I consider this something that I created. But after I created this, I realized there's another YouTuber that had the same idea that I did, and he's Justin Depew, and he came up with a similar design of the sander. But basically, instead of the traditional 3-wheeled strip sanders that you normally have, where the belt runs in a big loop, you have a 2-wheeled mini belt sander, and the belt comes up and just goes right back down. You have this little post, and the cool thing about that is you can sand the insides of organ pipes, which otherwise would be really difficult to get to and sand smoothly and evenly. But with this machine, you can easily just slide a pipe directly onto the post and sand. And you can also sand inside holes, which is also really important. And Justin Depew covered that really well as well. And so you can switch platens, very similar to Justin Depew's design, I actually realized. And it uses this 1/4 horsepower motor that I got from our very own AC. Have to put that back eventually, but yeah. And then this is just a little project that I made for the organ. You can see it's tracking a little bit off, but we'll show that to you. It's got the same screw tracking mechanism. I originally got this mechanism from Justin Depew's belt disc sander combo, and he had that brilliant idea of making that mechanism, and it's really, really nice. So I tried it out and it worked great, but I did use wooden blocks instead. So you can also sand inside holes, as I was saying, because in an organ you need a lot of what we call flanges. And flanges are basically a piece of wood with a big hole cut in them to fit a pipe into. And that way you can connect hose to connect the air channels to the actual organ. And it's really hard to get those holes clean, and so you definitely need a sander. And you can't just use a hole saw because there's no hole saws that are like 4 inches in diameter. So you really need something a bit bigger. And this machine is a great way to round those corners as well. So it adds an additional feature to a regular sander that a regular sander couldn't do. So, but let's go ahead and adjust the tracking because it's a bit off. So I'm going to turn the machine on. And you can see it is tracking a little bit off. But just by turning the screw, you can see it tracks a little bit more off. And so that way I can really adjust the tracking very conveniently. So, try it again. You can see it's tracking off. But if I lower this side, you can see that it's changing the tracking. And now it's on center. So that's basically how that machine works. It's pretty nice. I've got some other tools lately. A drill press for working at home, and a circular saw. Those are also some tools I got. That's mainly all for the organ project and some other little projects along the way. And I'm really working on coming up with some new ideas for machines, new ideas for projects, and really what I'm looking for is ideas in which you can kind of, new ideas that are like pretty much like that people have never really thought of before, and implementing them by making it a reality. So I think that's what's pretty nice about that. So those are just some updates. But I've also gotten I'll give you a more detailed tour of this shop and the shop at school later. But what I really want to give you is updates on the projects themselves, like the pipe organ, which video I'll be releasing very soon. And I'll show you how Opus 2 is coming along. But other than that, I hope that clarifies some of your guys' questions. I'll make another video right after this one, answering some questions about the paper organ, and some clarifications on some of the things you guys are maybe unsure about, and I'll talk about those in the next video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's really great to be back, and yeah, I look forward to documenting more of these projects for you guys. Thank you for watching.